special edition of Live at 5, Close to Home. We're coming to you live from Pat Bailey Square in the heart of the town of Ajax.
This is part of a series of newscasts where we visit a community near you.
So over the next few months, you're going to see us in your neighborhood where you work, play, and grow, talking about the issues that matter to you. Good evening. I'm Bakari Savage.
And I'm Melissa Duggan. Welcome to Live at 5, Close to Home. We're going to be joined by special guests throughout the hour, starting with the mayor of Ajax, Sean Collier. Thanks so much for joining us today, Mayor. Thanks for having us in this beautiful square as well. A great place to be. And your town celebrating 70 years this year. How's the celebration going?
Our staff have got all sorts of events planned. I just got back actually from London last week with the River Plate Veterans Association. I don't know if you know, but all of our streets are named after the veterans that fought on the HMS Ajax, Achilles, and Exeter in the Battle of the River Plate. So it's something that's very important to us. You're going to see a lot about that just here, Pat Bailey Square. Pat Bailey was the first mayor of Ajax.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Okay, so Mayor, along with that, we're talking about celebrating 70 years for Ajax. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, I haven't been here quite 70. I've been here 56, but yeah, I grew up here. It's a great place, and really that's why I wanted to get involved in sort of how the town grew. And, you know, put my money where my mouth is and you know, see, I remember when the town used to be 12,000 people. Now we're 142,000 people, and by 2031 we'll be 200,000. You know, that's significant change, and mostly for the good.
You've been in public service here for more than 2 decades.
Yeah.
As mayor right now, I wonder what's on your desk. What's your priority at this moment?
We've got a lot done. The first term as mayor since 2018 to 22 is mostly about commercial development. We're situated in a great area east of the city, so obviously everything went to e-commerce, and we became not the warehouse capital, but a lot of development in that market. So they can service Eastern Ontario from Ajax. We're in that great location. We had over $1 billion worth of investment in that first 4 years. That would be good for the region of Durham, but that's just Ajax, so that's massive. This term is mostly about residential. As I'm sure you know, we're in a housing crisis. We're doing everything we can to approve as much development as we can. We can't pull the permits, but I can make sure I can cut the red tape and get those approvals done as quickly as possible.
So Mayor, along with that, let's talk about the move to Ajax. What are people saying about why they're coming here, and how are you guys responding to that?
I'd like to take credit for it. I think a lot of it is just to do with affordability. When you look at Toronto markets, obviously here our housing prices are quite a bit less, but still far beyond the reach of a lot of people when you talk about affordability, especially young people. I have 4 kids myself. One of them has a house, but the other 3 are struggling. And you know, what we're trying to do is through volume, through just having enough on the market, be able to make that affordability happen. It's going to take some time, but we've got enough single-family homes. We're looking more at higher density. We have a fixed urban boundary here in Ajax. We can only go up.
You know, one story we've been following closely for quite some time now. We're talking about speed enforcement cameras a lot. I know that you were among the more than 20 municipal leaders in the province signing a letter extending it to Premier Doug Ford saying, hey, your idea, Ford, to get rid of these speed enforcement cameras, we don't support that. Why is that?
Well, I actually wrote the first letter, which was well before the combined mayor's letter. I provided that, and I wanted Ontario big city mayors to take that up, but it came from just a group of 20 of us or so. Speed enforcement has been a very, very important tool and a very effective tool. It slows speeding, according to studies, by 45%, and it's the only thing that we have that works. I stopped all of the traffic calming 3 years ago. We used to spend $100,000 a year in traffic calming, which was completely ineffective. The automatic speed enforcement works. It frees up officers. You had the chief on earlier. It frees up officers to be able to get out and do other very important things, not just speed traps. We only have 3 in Ajax. We rotate them through, and they're all in community safety zones, which are school zones. Like, I can understand the premier maybe thinking it's a cash grab if your municipality had 400 of them. But we have 3, and we don't get any of the revenues. That goes to the provincial courts. We don't get any of the revenues, so it's certainly not a cash grab, but it's a very, very effective tool. And I hope, instead of just scrapping the whole program, why not make some changes, like maybe increase the threshold where you get a ticket. So instead of getting it at 11 or 12 over, you get it at 15 or 20 over. Then you're catching the true speeders.
Have you heard anything from Ford on this?
I have not, no. No, unfortunately. I just would like them to take a second look at it. And now that they've got, you know, even those 20 mayors that signed the letter, that's probably represents a population of about half the province. So it's a significant voice. I hope that they do listen.
So, Mayor, let's also talk about the future of Ajax. What's on the books? Let's also talk about how you plan to get there.
Well, I talked about the residential development. I mean, we need to grow. With growth, we need to look at all of our other infrastructure, community centers, places like parks and amenity spaces, roads, trails, all that stuff. It's very difficult. At the same time, we've had some changes with legislation. So when we build a building like this 25-story building we're sitting under right now, we would normally have received development charges in the neighborhood of, I don't know, $25 million, which pays for the parks and rec centers and all those things. Now those development charges have been deferred till occupancy. So what we would have got up front, now we're not going to get for 5 to 10 years. And it makes it kind of difficult to put that infrastructure in place. So we're having to plan around that right now. So when I'm doing my budget process now under the strong mayor's powers, my reserves that normally would have been topped up ongoing are going to have a drought of about 5 years. So I've now got a plan for that 5 years effectively. Bottom line, I'm going to have to cancel a lot of projects or defer them, and we're going to incur some debt. We're going to have some carrying costs, which is not necessarily a bad thing. That means new residents coming to Ajax are going to pay their share rather than, the money accumulated before they got there. But it puts us in a difficult position.
We're about to wrap up here. I wonder if you have a quick message to the people of Ajax right now.
It's a great place. We're doing a lot. I'm very proud to call it home. I've lived here, except for the time I was in the military, my whole life. Raised my family here. And a lot of the residents think the same because we're growing like crazy and I'm not aware of that many people leaving. So if you haven't been here before, please come check it out. Highly recommend it.
And we certainly had a warm welcome here. Thanks so much for that. Ajax Mayor Jean Collier, appreciate you joining us here live here today.
Thank you.
Okay, taking a look at some of the other stories happening around the GTA and the headlines. Ontario's 4 publicly funded school board associations are calling on Premier Doug Ford to not go ahead with his plan to get rid of speed cameras.
A joint statement from the Ontario Public School Boards Association, as well as Catholic and French organizations, they're calling for every possible precaution to be taken to slow down drivers and protect children in school zones. It calls for changes to be made to automated speed enforcement rather than the elimination of it. The statement echoes similar calls made by nearly 24 municipalities. We just heard from the mayor of Ajax. He signed on to the letter. Last week, Premier Ford has pledged to introduce legislation to ban speed cameras after repeatedly calling them cash grabs.
And other headlines, a vehicle rollover. It helped to slow the drive on the DVP. That was this afternoon.
Chopper 24 over the scene as the SUV was flipped back onto its wheels. The crash happened in the southbound lanes near Don Mills Road. No word on what led to the rollover, but police say there were no injuries.
Okay, with that, it is now 5:07. Let's get a check on the evening commute with CP24 traffic specialist Adjoa and Sia Yabwa. Adj, you didn't come out here and join us.
I didn't. I'm stuck in traffic, so I had to turn around and come back to the studio. If you're making your way out, though, it's a slow go on the major routes. You're running into a few issues. So we'll start with these problems happening on the northbound lanes of the 410. This is right as you make your way in the approach to Steeles. HOV lane blocked following this stalled vehicle. It is really, really busy just as you make your way through that stretch. Also, we had problems. So southbound on the 404, delays from Finch all the way down to Lawrence. My camera at Lawrence is out, but there is a stalled vehicle in the right lane. So that's adding to the very, very slow drive. And if your travels take you towards the 401, starting to improve in sections across the top of the city. Still looking at delays, though. So you want to pack a bit of your patience as you do make your way out. On city streets, another collision impacting the drive is on Royal York. Just as you make your way through Bloor, it's a fatal collision. It happened earlier this afternoon. I'll send it back to you both.
This CP24 traffic report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Enjoy the journey with a stress-free commute.
And we're following developing news this evening. A woman's dead after being hit by a TTC bus. This was at Royal York Station.
Our Steve Ryan is joining us live from the scene with the very latest. What's the update there, Steve?
Well, we know, according to police, Melissa, that this happened just after 1 o'clock this afternoon here at Royal York Station, which is at Royal York and Bloor. It appears as though a TTC bus was exiting the depot, which faces east of where I'm standing right now. And when we got on scene, I could see, you can see that we use that bus that's facing north-south right now as a reference point. The bus that was involved in this fatality was facing in a southwest direction. So it's mostly facing where I'm standing right now. Clearly, that's where the point of impact occurred. A woman in her, a senior elderly woman, she died as a result. The Toronto Police Traffic Services were on scene. They'll continue to do their investigation. Now, there is signs up showing that it's dangerous to be on the platform. We don't know whether or not this was the reason for this collision, but the people are prohibited from going on the platform because it is very dangerous. And you can imagine a bus making a right turn around that corner that's facing east right now, and as it turned to come west in a southwest direction, that appears like this bus is heading right now coming out, that appears as to where the point of impact occurred. So this will be investigated by the police and they'll determine exactly what led up to this tragic incident. Here's more from Toronto Police who we heard from earlier on. Let's listen.
Police attended the Royal York subway station for reports of a woman who was pinned underneath a TTC bus in the Bus Bay area. Unfortunately, the woman was pronounced deceased at the scene. Police are working with the TTC and are reviewing video surveillance in the Bus Bay area. Anyone who witnessed this incident are asked to contact traffic services.
So you can see people are continuously walking on this area here where they're not supposed to walk. That can be very dangerous. I mean, the buses are somewhat blindsided when they make that turn. So this will be part of the investigation, and the traffic services will make a determination as to the cause of this collision and the circumstances surrounding it. So back to you guys.
Okay, CP24's Steve Ron. Steve, thank you. Right now it's 5:11, 27 degrees. This is Live at 5, close to home, live from Ajax.
As we head to break, we take a closer look at some of the sights in Ajax. The Blue Jays are one win away from punching their ticket to the American League Championship Series.
And oh, baby! Goodbye! Vlad Jr. strikes again!
Okay, so the Jays lead the Yankees 2-0 in the ALDS. This is after back-to-back wins right here at home. This was over the weekend. They are now in New York. They're getting ready for Game 3. That's tomorrow night. The Jays made history in Game 2 with the team's first ever postseason grand slam from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and a franchise record 11 postseason strikeouts from rookie Trey DeSavage.
Slugger Vladimir Guerrero Jr. spoke to reporters today using an interpreter. He says he is focused on the road ahead.
My emotions are neutral right now. I mean, it's not time to celebrate. It's not time to put your head down. I mean, it's not over. I mean, there's a lot of work to do still. I mean, then until we win the third game, then I guess emotions will be different. We'll celebrate.
And Jays manager John Schneider says that he gave the team the option of attending today's practice or not.
Some guys need some treatment, some guys some work. Optional for guys that needed work, and pretty much everyone is here, which is pretty cool. Want to kind of keep a feeling going and keep a rhythm about it, so everyone will do it a little bit different, but pretty nice that everyone's here.
Okay, so we take a deep breath today. Back to the action tomorrow. The Blue Jays are one win away from punching their ticket to the American League Championship Series. CP24's Artis Zakarian joining us from the Rogers Center with more on how fans are feeling.
Melissa, nobody's taking a deep breath. We're all holding our breath. We're all so excited. You know, this is such an electric, amazing opportunity for the entire city. You can really feel the energy. I stopped Vin here. I said, Vin, are you a Blue Jays fan? He said, isn't everybody? And everybody certainly is, I'm sure. Tell me, Vin, what your thoughts are on the Blue Jays making it this far.
I think they've been playing really hard, and we're hoping they go all the way and we can win the World Series, right?
And this team is special. A lot of analysts are saying they have chemistry, they work together, they're mature when it comes to, you know, working together as a team as well. What do you think it is that's so special about this team?
I think we can see it as they play together. They have a team win approach. I think that's what's going to separate them.
Yeah, they seem to really like each other too.
I think that's always a positive. Doesn't matter where we are if they like each other, right?
So what do you think they need to do to bring it home and win this one against the Yankees?
To be honest, I think they got it in the bag. We're just spectators. We're just watching them having a good time. And as long as they keep doing what they're doing, I think they'll go far.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for this, Vin. I appreciate it. Thank you. And they have a pretty good chance. 89% of teams that win the first two games end up winning the entire series. So we're not saying the cat's in the bag, but we are doing all the superstitious things we need to do. Is there wood around here I need to knock on so that we do actually win, which is, it's up to the team. They're doing so amazing. We saw Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit a grand slam. Trey Savage, the rookie, is doing phenomenally. It's just incredible to watch the entire team come together like this. And Game 3 is happening tomorrow at Yankee Stadium, and game time first pitch is 8:08. Back to you.
All right, so capturing just a little bit of that fan excitement, CP24's Art Zakarian joining us live from Rogers Center. But we have another big Jays fan right here. So, Melissa, listen to this. So, a man from St. Catharines caught Vladdy Jr.'s grand slam ball. I'm pretty sure you wish that were you.
What a keepsake. Oh, yeah. You got to put that in a special place. We caught up with Brendan Craig today. He purchased tickets for the game off of Facebook Marketplace. Little did he know he would be in the perfect position to catch the first postseason grand slam in Blue Jays history. You can actually see Craig step in front of his wife to make an incredible leaping catch as Rogers Center just went into a wild frenzy in the fourth inning.
Kind of blacked out in the moment, like instincts kind of just took over. Saw it was coming a little to our left. My wife was sitting on my left, so stepped across her, and I think she knew the drill, maybe just like, I'll let him take charge here, and reached up and grabbed it, and it stuck, which was the cool part, right in my palm.
Okay, so Craig says that he doesn't have a plan for the ball just yet, but if the Blue Jays want the ball, he'd be happy if the organization reached out to get it back. You can't blame him for that, right?
That's so nice, because sometimes there is a bit of
I'm keeping it.
Back and forth in that situation.
Would you keep it?
I think I might keep it. Or have the chance to talk to Vladdy about it. I don't know.
Put Vladdy on the phone.
That'd be pretty tempting. It is 5:18, 27 degrees. This is Live at 5, close to home, live from Ajax.
We're going to leave you with beautiful footage from where we are broadcasting. This is Pat Bailey Square, named after the town's first mayor. The square was designed to bring the community together. Seasonal events include Kids in the Square, music in the square, and a Flicks on the Bricks movie event. There's even a skating rink in the winter. More news after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Premier Doug Ford is doubling down on his decision to remove Crown Royal from LCBO shelves.
Who in their right mind, any business person with half a brain, would go after their largest customer in North America? Diageo, we do over $765 million, more than any jurisdiction anywhere in the U.S. or in Canada. And they want to close down a plant over what, $8 million of wages they think they're going to save? The LCBO is the largest purchaser of alcohol in the entire world. And I'll use that leverage to make sure we send a signal that we are pulling Crown Royal off our shelves as soon as the last person leaves that plant.
At a news conference last month, Premier Ford poured out a bottle of Crown Royal. Look at that. This was after news that the bottling company Diageo plans to shut down its plant, which is near Windsor. This is early next year. So what that would mean, that would be 200 job losses. Ford also hinted today that he may target Smirnoff next, which is also owned by Diageo.
More Ontarians are having to make the difficult decision to heat or eat.
Well, recent findings suggest that people in Ontario, they're also more likely to delay medical care as well as procedures compared to those in other provinces. 31% say that they scaled back their use of utilities, while 1 in 4 report cutting back on the amount they eat. Wesley Cohen, a licensed insolvency trustee at MNP, joined us on CP24 Breakfast with more.
A lot of folks are doing the things that they need to do. They're reducing costs. They're trying to budget differently, perhaps. But certainly getting on top of debt is an important thing. So if there's any way for them to refinance at a lower interest rate, I mean, interest rates have come down, certainly. But for a lot of folks in the survey, they said that they would need them to come down lower in order for them to feel comfortable. So in order to get those debt payments down, refinancing, trying to restructure in some way that way, if you have the ability to borrow against an asset like a home, remortgaging, that's a great idea.
You got it. Thank you. Half of respondents in the MNP survey say they are within $200 of not being able to cover their monthly bills.
Right now it's 5:23, 27 degrees. This is Live at 5, close to home, live from Ajax.
As we head to break, we're going to take a closer look at some of the sites in Ajax. Ajax Markets at the Ajax Community Center. It goes from June 5th to October 2nd. It features live music, food, and artisans. We've got more news after the break.
Welcome back to Live at 5, close to home, live from Ajax. So we have to talk about this. In its second Islamic History Month celebration, that was this weekend. Right now we're joining us live right now is Cooper Meir, Executive Director and co-founder of Muslim Women of Durham Region.
Thanks so much for being with us. You know, I'm so curious to know what inspired you to work to empower Muslim women.
First of all, thank you for having me on the show. And I actually was on the show on Saturday with Vakar, so thank you for supporting us and getting the message out. So what inspired me is, you know, there's not a lot of platforms for Muslim women, right? And so, especially in Durham, we're still a new growing community. So I created a space where people can get together. We do a lot of volunteer work. We're doing a Feed the Need donation right now. We go in to drop in shelters. We donate to them. We do a lot of different, initiatives during the year. So people want to be part of that and be part of an organization. We also do mental health workshops. We have done workshops for parents, for women, for youth. And that's so important for them to have those kind of resources that speak to our culture and our faith, and of course being Canadian.
Okay, along with that, Cooper, going back to our conversation from Saturday, coming on the show, how was the event Sunday? What's the big takeaway?
So the takeaway was we had a fantastic event. I'm so excited. A lot of planning went into a lot of work. This is our second annual one, and we received a partnership grant from the town of Ajax. So we're very thankful for them for providing us the resources. And we had, we lost track of the number of people. We had a full house with all our entertainers. We had dancers. We had a poetry reading. We had musicians. We had live, things that people could participate in, like for children. We had henna. We had a VR experience, which was so popular. So very thankful.
And just before we came on camera, you were telling me about just how much you appreciate being in Ajax. How this just feels like home to you.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I moved here about 14 years ago, and the first thing that struck me is the community. You go into a store, people say hello to you. I remember going and I couldn't find something. The poor guy, he followed me around and made sure I got it. And I thought, wow, that's customer service. And right now, you can't see them, but we do have two council people here, Marilyn Crawford and Councillor Rob. They were here and they were so supportive, and I really love the fact that our local politicians are supportive. They come to my events, they give back, and our community is so wonderful. When we do our park cleanups, people come up and say, hey, thank you for doing that, and it makes me feel so wonderful to live in a community where you're appreciated and recognized.
Cooper Meir, Executive Director and co-founder of Muslim Women of Durham Region. Thanks so much for taking time to come back and, stop by Live at 5, live from Ajax. We appreciate it.
We're feeling the warm welcome, that's for sure, too. It is 5:29 and it is 27 degrees. This is Live at 5, close to home, live from Ajax.
And as we head to break, we're going to take a closer look at some of the sights of Ajax, a popular gem in Ajax, Pickering Village. Ajax's historic Main Street, situated at the crossroads of Old Kingston Road and Church Street. Once an original Quaker settlement in the 1800s, the area, it celebrates a mix of the old and the new, including local businesses, restaurants, and pubs that are situated in historical buildings with unique architecture. More news after the break. bringing our newsroom to a community near you. CP24 is on the road tonight.
We are live from Pat Bailey Square in the town of Ajax for a special edition of Live at 5.
A woman's dead after getting pinned under a TTC bus in Etobicoke. We are live at Royal York Station.
And the Jays, they are one win away from advancing to the next round of the playoffs. We'll check in on how fans are doing the day after the team's historic Game 2 performance in the ALDS.
This is Live at 5.
Welcome to a special edition of Live at 5, close to home.
We're coming to you live from Pat Bailey Square. This is in the heart of the town of Ajax. So this is a part of a series of newscasts where we literally visit a community near you.
Over the next few months, you're going to be seeing us in your neighborhood, where you work, play, grow, and talk about the issues that matter to you.
Good evening. I'm Bakari Savage.
And I'm Melissa Duggan. Welcome to Live at 5.
Well, the town of Ajax, it's named after the 7th hymns of Ajax. Ajax also refers to one of the Greek heroes in the Iliad. There are 95 public parks in Ajax, more than 100 kilometers of multi-use trails.
Ajax is home to one of the longest uninterrupted waterfront trails in the GTA. Ajax is home to more than 230 restaurants.
Okay, so earlier I had the chance to chat one-on-one with Police Chief Peter Morera. This is about what it was like growing up in Ajax and what it's like being the top cop in Durham Region. Here's that conversation. So the title, Durham Regional Police Services Chief Peter Morera. Does it still sound weird, or have you gotten used to it?
It does sound weird. I'm just a kid from Ajax. I grew up, born just a few feet from here, went to school in the schools that are right behind us here. I even lived in one of the apartment buildings that are right there, and I find myself coming home after 32 years in Toronto and being the police chief here. Surreal.
All right, so what's it like? I mean, you grew up here, and now you're responsible for the safety and well-being for everyone who calls Ajax home.
Yeah, and it's 2,500 square kilometers, Durham Region, and there are 9 municipalities, all with different needs. The Ajax I grew up in is much different than the Ajax of today. There's just about not quite 10,000 people when I was born and raised here in Ajax. Today it's one of the most densely populated municipalities that we have. The problems that we see here are the same that are right across the entire GTA. And the complexity and the nature of harm continues to change and continues to evolve, and Ajax is not immune from that.
Well, Chief, that's great, because that leads into this. So we're standing here, the Ajax sign, you know, you go, a few kilometers down the road, there's the Toronto sign, Nathan Phillips Square. How's law enforcement in Toronto different than Ajax? Or is it the same?
It's the exact same. The problems that we face here in Durham Region are the same that we face right across the GTA, this province, and in this country. I speak to my colleagues right across this country, and all of us are facing the same issues around the changing nature of harm, guns, bail, violence, the mental health, homelessness, and addiction continues to be a problem here as well. And all of these require really a nuanced conversation and solutions that are unique to each municipality.
Chief, along with that, I got to ask you about bail reform. You know, what are your thoughts on that? What should or shouldn't be done?
Bill C-75 really fundamentally changed bail in this country. Coming into force in 2019, almost immediately we began to discover there were some issues, and the government in 2022 made some changes that included and listed more offenses that would be reverse onus. We need wholesale bail reform change. In fact, I'd go a step further and say we need entire justice reform. There's many different times in which we are faced with obstacles. The legislation hasn't kept up with crime and our ability to investigate. The cyber world continues to explode and challenge our ability to just get simple information that helps us move along and investigate crimes. There's lots of challenges, and I think it goes well beyond just bail reform.
Chief, if I can just ask you, outside of the chief role, when you hear about all of these young kids treating these, getting caught up in all this crime. What does that do to you? What do you think?
As just a human being, as a parent, you take a second there and you pause and you reflect on your own family and you reflect on what has gone horribly wrong in the lives of so many of these young people. I'm really alarmed about the ages of people that are involved in very, very serious crime. I think that this should be a call to action for all of us. And I have been working very closely with our provincial and federal partners to make changes to legislation that better reflect it. I had spoken to then former Attorney General of the country to make a specific offense for organized crime groups that utilize young kids in executing their plans, in executing their criminal activity. And I'm really, really hoping that one day that is one of the laws that we have in this country, because our young people are being exploited.
And Chief, I do have to ask you, since we're talking about young people, speed cameras, that's a hot topic, especially in school zones, but nobody wants to get a ticket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you think?
So an interesting topic. I think speed cameras, like many things, are a tool. But at the end of the day, what we really need is to tackle the four big factors, and aggressive driving being the top of it and impaired driving being a second. And no speed camera will stop those kind of offenses from happening. What we need to do is target those offenders with tickets and demerit points and take their privilege to drive away. I think speed cameras are a tool, but it's not something actually the police are involved in. Many people don't know this. The municipalities decide where they go. The municipalities decide the speeds. The municipalities decide where those revenues go. They actually have nothing to do with the police.
Chief, we have to wrap up, but I have to ask you this one last question. When you look at this sign that says Ajax, I want you to talk about the pride, the sense of pride that you have with this and your role and being from here.
I definitely have a lot of pride being from Ajax. I can tell you it's a tremendous sense of responsibility that I feel. Not only for Ajax, but for every municipality in this region. This is where I grew up. This is where I raised my family. I continue to live here, and it's an absolute honor and privilege, and something I don't take for granted. Every single day I get to put on this uniform and serve my fellow citizens.
Well, it looks
24 traffic specialist Adjoa Nsia-Yeboah.
Well, thank you so much, Melissa. Speaking of Ajax, I was taking a look at the drive. If you're traveling out that way, very slow going, pretty typical for this time of day, especially if you're a commuter headed on the eastbound lanes, making your way through Westney. Everything seems to open up as you head into Whitby, just passing through Stevenson Road. Now, the rest of the 401, still pretty busy, but no issues to pass along. Also getting busier on the Don Valley Parkway northbound, rush hour to be expected. Delays extend from Bayview Bloor right on through to the 401. And if your travels take you onto the Garden, if you're trying to get out of the downtown core, it is jam solid. Delays start from Jarvis and they continue all the way up towards Grand. That sun starting to set, making for Blinding Drive. Make sure your shades are available on city streets in the downtown core. Crews on scene of a collision on Bloor right at Mount Pleasant. I'll send it back to you both.
All right, thanks, Aj. And we're following developing news tonight. A woman's dead after being hit by a TTC bus at Royal York Station.
CP24 crime analyst Steve Ryan is live at the scene with the latest. What are you learning about this tragic incident here, Steve?
Yeah, very tragic, Melissa. Police tell us that it was just after 1 o'clock this afternoon, and an elderly woman was struck and killed. In fact, she was trapped under one of the TTC buses on the TTC property itself. If I get out of the way, you're going to be looking in an easterly direction. You can see where the corner of the building ends. The bus was actually coming around that corner and heading back towards we are right now, as is that bus is right there. And right about that point there appears to be where the point of impact occurred. So the woman was pronounced vital signs absent, and now this is a collision being investigated by the traffic service. Let's just point out the danger no entry signs that are on the fences here. And I'm not suggesting this has anything to do with this collision, but it is posted around here that being on that property itself can be very dangerous, because as you saw in that last shot with the bus. I'm just on TV. Okay, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your service.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. When the bus made the turn, that's when it struck the pedestrian. So that'll all be part of the investigation being conducted by the traffic services. We did hear from Toronto Police just a short time ago, and here's some of that conversation.
Right now, we know it's an older individual, and currently our traffic services office is engaged in getting in contact with the next of kin.
I noticed that the scene seemed to be away from the platform. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, right now our traffic services office is here. They are working with the TTC to continue that investigation, and I do not have any further details at this time.
So there are plenty of surveillance cameras around this area, and I believe there is some on the bus as well. So the investigators will look at all of that footage to help them with the determination as to what the cause and the circumstances surrounding this very tragic event were. I'll send it back to you guys.
Okay, live from Royal York Station, CP24's Steve Ryan. Well, it's 5:42, 27 degrees. This is Live at 5, close to home, live from Ajax.
As we head to break, we take a closer look at some of the sites in Ajax. Duffins Creek drains into the north shore of Lake Ontario and connects communities across Durham region and York region, including Pickering, Ajax, Markham, Whitchurch, Stouffville, and Uxbridge. It is one of the healthiest streams in the Greater Toronto area. And we have more news for you after the break.
Well, the Blue Jays are one win away from punching their ticket to the American League Championship Series.
CP24's Arda Zakarian joining us now from outside Rogers Centre with more on how fans are feeling. Arda, I'm guessing feeling pretty good right about now.
Yes, everybody is so excited. The people I've been speaking to here, they just are so pumped that this is our team this year and that we're playing like this. We're playing so well. Actually, we have an 89% chance of winning the next game. In history, it shows that the people who have won the 2 games prior will go on to win the 3rd game. So we have a pretty good chance. With me right now is Reed. Reed, how are you feeling going into game 3?
Honestly, I'm feeling great. Like, we got that. It's our year. Finally, I mean, I've never experienced a real deep playoff run from the Jays for the past 10 years, but I feel like this is our year. I feel like we got it.
What is it about this year's team that makes it different?
Honestly, we had a really rough start. And I mean, like, even right now, playing with injuries, I feel like everybody just has good chemistry and everybody's working together as a team and they're all just blending with each other.
The Yankees are a tough team. You know, we've been playing better than they have. Obviously, our pitching has been incredible. We saw Trace Yasavage do his thing. He's a rookie. He's playing amazing. But they also have a pretty intense fan base, and we're playing in their territory for Game 3. What do you think we need to do to win this one?
Honestly, I mean, we just need to go in there and keep doing what they've been doing. I mean, it's obviously bigger pressure. It's a different environment. It's going to be hard, but, you know, I mean, we got that. I believe in them.
Amazing. Thank you. And they're lucky to have a fan like you. Appreciate it. And of course, the entire city, the entire country is rooting for them for Game 3. The Yankees are going to try to force Game 5, but that's not going to happen. We're just focusing on Game 3 right now, which happens in New York at Yankee Stadium at 8:08 p.m.
Arda,
Positive thinking, Arda.
Yeah, I like your confidence there. I like the fans' confidence. We are feeling it here in Ajax as well. Appreciate that, Arda. Well, we may be 2 weeks into fall, but it feels more like late July outside today.
Yeah, so this latest stretch of unseasonably warm weather, it's going to come to an end this week with autumn-like conditions. They're back by Wednesday, and we're going to see sunshine the rest of today. A high of 28 is going to be feeling a little bit closer to 32 with the humidity. That's about 12 degrees warmer than normal for this time of year. But rain is expected tomorrow. The humidex is going to remain in the high 20s. And things are going to start to feel a little bit more seasonal Wednesday. This is when the high drops to, Melissa, you ready for this? Just 16 degrees.
16. It is that time of year when you do not know how to dress these ups and the downs. Well, it is 27 degrees right now, feeling more like 31 precisely at this moment, 5:48. We are live at 5, close to home, live from Ajax.
And as we head to break, we're going to take a closer look at some of the sites in Ajax situated in Rotary Park, a focal point of the town's waterfront trail. The Rotary Park Pavilion, it's an octagon-shaped space popular for weddings and other special events. More news after the break. Stay with us. Prime Minister Mark Carney's on his way to Washington, D.C. This is ahead of his meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump. That's tomorrow.
This is Carney's second trip to the White House since becoming prime minister last spring. They're going to discuss Trump's bumped-up tariffs on steel, aluminum, copper, and autos. Just ahead of the meeting, Trump announced today that a 25% tariff on medium and heavy-duty trucks will begin November 1st.
And Premier Ford says that Prime Minister Carney has his work cut out for him tomorrow when he meets with President Trump.
If you could put all the headquarters in the world, in the U.S., in one jurisdiction, that's Toronto and the GTHA area. So every major corporation that is in the U.S. has an office or a Canadian headquarters in Toronto and the Greater Toronto area. So hopefully it will come out with positive results. And I'm confident that the Prime Minister is going to go in there and do a great job. He's a smart business person.
Carney's meeting comes as Trump is set to impose an extra 10% tariff on Canada's softwood lumber next week.
Right now it's 5:52, 27 degrees. This is Live at 5, close to home, live from Ajax.
We are here. We are live. And as we head to break, we're going to take a closer look at some of the sites in Ajax. Ajax Waterfront Trail, it's a continuous multi-use pathway along Lake Ontario. It's part of the larger Great Lakes Waterfront Trail system in Ontario. We have more news for you coming up after the break.
All right, welcome back to Live at 5, close to home, live from Ajax. We're joined live by Sheikh Hussein, president of the Ajax Cricket Club, and
the women's coordinator for the Ajax Cricket Club. Thanks so much for being with us here today. We you got a big group behind us as well. We want to talk about the surge in popularity that cricket's having right now.
Oh, it's amazing. We have a diverse club. We have cricketers from all walks of life playing with us here, and that's what makes us club so one stands out in Ajax and GTA. Okay. And we have a junior, we have a women's program run by Abigail, and it's phenomenal what we have right now in Ajax.
Okay, so when it comes to cricket, I gotta ask, right? Look, we have baseball fever. Look at what's happening with the Jays. Is Ajax? Is cricket kind of like baseball, or is that a misconception?
You got the bats, you got the balls. Is there a kinship when you're watching baseball?
Yeah, well, I can assure you that's not the case. Ajax has taken off, cricket has taken off in Ajax and Canada by extension, and I think it's one of the fastest growing sports. We implement in our league, an Ajax Cricket League, our own league, and we were thinking, we're probably going to get maybe about 5-6 teams. The turnout, exceptional, almost 20 to 30 teams, and that's residents and beyond Ajax. So cricket is on the rise, definitely.
So speaking of, we have a lot of diversity, kids as well as women, right?
Yes, absolutely. We are a very diverse community, and what we strive for is to make sure we can empower women, have a safe place for them to play, grow, learn, and excel in a sport, especially in Canadian cricket.
Okay, so do we have somebody to give us some examples? Show us a little bit of cricket in action?
Oh, absolutely. We do. We have the juniors, and then we have Lauren Kenton, who's a former Canadian player as well.
All right, let's get in place. Come on.
And while you're getting in place, I wonder if I could ask you, Sheikh, just about the cricket, the setup that you've got, the pitch.
Well, what we have, and that's one thing I'll come back, we have a contribution from all forms, all three branches of government. And I see the support that we have, and a big shout out to the Mayor, Sean Collier, and his team. They have promoted cricket for us, and they give us one of the best wicket pitch ground clubhouse in Ajax, and I gotta say by extension Canada, because most ground that we go to, they don't have the clubhouse that we have. So the facility is phenomenal.
Okay, so with that, we have to get in place because we only have about 45 seconds left for the show.
Jump out there. Let's see some action.
Get in place. So as they get in place, Sheikh, give us some basics real quick.
Okay, so we have Coach Phil, and they have the ball. Guys, do some bowling and pitching with the bat. So we got one guy there, and he's going to pitch cricket, and that's go like overhand. It's a bit different from baseball, similar. And that's what you're going to pitch to him. There you go. That's pitch. And he plays straight, and it's a straight bat, so that's good what it is. And these juniors are the future for our club.
Okay, let's have you guys take us to break with that. As we do that right now, it is 5:58, 27 degrees. This is Toronto's breaking news, CP24. We have been live at 5 on the road It's part of our new series, Going Close to Home, live from Ajax. Melissa?
Thank you so much for watching a special edition of Live at 5 Close to Home, live from Pat Bailey Square here in the heart of the town of Ajax. From all of our friends here today, CTV News at 6 is next.
Thank you, guys. Let's see. Come on, get in place. Play some more. Play some more. Play some more.